Have you ever wondered what really happens when we die? Is death the end, or could consciousness somehow continue beyond the grave? Today, we're diving into one of the strangest, most controversial ideas in modern physics: quantum immortality, a theory that suggests you might never truly die. Sounds like science fiction, right? But this idea doesn't come from fantasy novels or Hollywood movies. It comes from the mathematics of quantum mechanics, the same science that powers your smartphone, lasers, and even nuclear energy. And if the theory is correct, it could mean that every time you face death, somewhere in some universe, you survive. To understand quantum immortality, we need to step into the bizarre world of quantum physics. At the smallest scales of reality, particles don't behave like tiny billiard balls. Instead, they exist in a superposition, multiple states at once. A particle can be here and there, alive and dead, until it's observed. This is the famous paradox of Schrödinger's cat, a cat in a box that is both alive and dead until someone opens the lid. It's weird, it's unsettling, and it's the foundation of the idea we're exploring today. In 1957, physicist Hugh Everett proposed the many-worlds interpretation. Instead of the universe choosing one outcome when a quantum event happens, Everett suggested that all outcomes occur, but in separate branching universes. Flip a coin, and in one universe it lands heads, in another it lands tails. Fire a gun, and in one universe the bullet misses, in another it hits. Every possibility is realized somewhere, and now here's where things get dark. Imagine a thought experiment called quantum suicide. A scientist builds a machine that fires a gun depending on the outcome of a quantum event. In one universe, the gun fires, one, and the scientist dies. In another, the gun doesn't fire, and the scientist lives. From an outside perspective, half the universes see the scientist perish. But from the scientist's own perspective, they only ever experience the universes where they survive. In other words, their consciousness never encounters death. This is the unsettling foundation of quantum immortality. If this theory is true, then every time you face a life or death situation, there will always be at least one universe where you survive. You might be the only version of yourself that experiences this endless survival, but from your perspective, you never die. Think about it. Car accidents, illnesses, disasters. In some universes, you don't make it, but in at least one you do. And that's the one your consciousness continues to experience. To you, death never arrives. You are, in a sense, immortal. Of course, this theory is highly controversial. Most physicists don't accept quantum immortality as a serious scientific claim. Why? Because it's not testable. We can't measure what happens to consciousness across universes. Others argue that even if the many worlds interpretation is true, it doesn't necessarily mean your consciousness jumps between universes. It might just mean that countless versions of you exist, but you only ever experience one. Still, the idea raises profound questions. If you never truly die, what does that mean for the meaning of life? Would immortality be a blessing or a curse? Imagine living through endless universes, surviving every catastrophe, watching everyone else fade away while you continue on. Is that really immortality, or just another kind of prison? So, what do you think? Is quantum immortality a mind-bending glimpse into the true nature of reality? Or just a fascinating thought experiment with no basis, in fact? Either way, it forces us to confront the deepest mystery of all: what it really means to be alive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the strangest corners of physics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves a good existential puzzle. Until next time, stay curious. Suggested supporting videos. If you want to enrich your video with references or clips,